Hello, and welcome to Saturday Live with Clear Horizon. My name is Merete, and I will be your host today. The theme is where leadership is more than performance. Today, we will go deeper. Leadership is often measured in performance, in results, in numbers, in targets. But leadership is much, much more than performance. Okay, let's get in there. Oh, I'm just going to let somebody else in here. Let's see. Yeah, welcome. I will pin myself so you won't be sent out live. They won't see you. Welcome here. We're 5 people here now. Welcome. I have muted you, but in the end and during the live here today, we will have some workshops where I will turn off and on cameras. Back to leadership. So I already said welcome to Saturday live, not Saturday night live, but Saturday morning live. As I said, I'm very happy that you're here and that we're going to go much deeper, as leadership is often measured in performance, in results and targets. But leadership is so much more than performance. It's presence, it's awareness, and it's how you show up when no one is measuring, when no one is watching you. Okay, I'd like to share a little moment. I came from the other side of the table. I was really good at what I was doing. I was handpicked to do the job. I was on a different department into the administration and work as a leader. And this person that hired me in this, that really had seen how much potential that I had, even more than I actually could see myself. He took me into the weekly meeting and he presented me and he said, "Hey, this is Merete. She is so much more qualified and intelligent than you, and she's going to come in and make some really big changes." Oh my goodness. I could just feel the cold oozing towards me. I was surrounded by people that had been working in high positions for many, many years. Some of them were getting close to their pension. They were really proud of what they were doing. What did that do to my startup, do you think? At first, I was shit scared. I thought to myself, my goodness, I remember phoning my brother saying, "Oh my goodness, you know what happened?" And I told my husband, "You know what happened? This is not going to be good." And luckily, I've been working a lot on myself. Even at that time, we talked 20 years ago. And I had a really good mentor, and he said, "Merete, what really matters is the way you show up for your team going forward." So what I did, I dove into it. I really did my best. I just couldn't care less about the people staring me down. I just met them with service, a smile, happy, always helpful. I really showed up. And it took like 3, 4 years before the trust was restored. Here's what's fascinating. You see, what we see is never the whole picture. Our minds simplify reality. We don't get the full truth. We only get shortcuts. And these guys sure got really small shortcuts of who I was. I want you to think of the icons on your phone. The icon on your photos isn't the photos themselves. It's just a shortcut, isn't it? It's like having a desktop shortcut. What I saw was only a shortcut of me. I had to let them in deeper, didn't I? I had to make them open the app. The thing is, this is how we perceive. And in leadership, we do exactly the same. We look at icons, the numbers, the performance, the reports, and our employees and our colleagues are usually just sort of melting into all these icons, doing all different kinds of jobs. But beneath the surface, there's always a lot more. I want to ask you a question. I want to reflect on this. Where in your leadership are you only looking at icons? Are your colleagues and employees, or even yourself, do you look at yourself as an icon? A front figure? No depth? What's beneath the surface that you might be missing? I'll give you a few minutes and I will pause the recording. Just think about this. I'll repeat it. What's beneath the surface that you might be missing in your leadership, in your team? Give me some thoughts on this. Hello, welcome back. Okay, so you shared a couple of things. We had a little discussion. I think I got your brains working here a little bit. You understand this is not a place, a Saturday live morning, where you're just going to watch me. You'll have to work for it, not to please me, but to get something out of it yourself. Because the thing is, performance is what you do. Presence is who you are doing it. Performance produces results. We have to perform. Presence, however, builds trust, safety, and makes an impact. You just can't perform and run through things and think that everything's going to be fine. I have a really good example. This was about a new leader, totally new leader. I've had several of them. I had people coming in thinking and having this great philosophy that if I come in here, I know I can get trapped in the company culture. And I've been told that I need to change things in the company. So I have two options. One option is to go in and do all the changes without even knowing anybody. Well, if you were a consultant or somebody who was really into saving something that were on the brink of catastrophe, you probably would do that. But if you want to persist and to get this team up and going and to stay in this role, you have to do it differently. So you have another choice. That is to go in and stay with the people, get to know the people, even if there's been maybe a long time where things hasn't been really working in the optimal way, or at least you want to bring forth some progress. Because the thing is that there are nothing like in business, you can't stand still. You either move forward or you move backward. You're either winning or you're losing. I had a leader one time that was exceptional. He came in, he sat down, he got to know people, he was not in a hurry. He used a couple of months to get to know people, to give them respect, to show up for them, to build trust before he started suggesting things. But when he did, he was brilliant because he already knew the people's strengths. So he played with them. Okay, another 5 minutes. Well, 5 minutes. I'll give you 5 minutes. I hope you have something to write on. You really need something to write on. This is a must. I've got another one coming in here now. Hello, welcome in here. We've moved in a little bit into the presentation here and the live this morning. I will send the recording so you can see the start, but we're into where leadership is more than performance, and we're going to do some exercises. I want you to bring out a pen and something to write on. Find one moment when you only focused on performance. Well, all you did was just do. Like this. Just did. Okay, keep that in mind. Keep on writing. And when you finish, find one moment when you led from a present state, from being present, totally present instead. How did you perceive that differently? Maybe you might say it didn't make a difference, or did it make a difference? But think about it. You might have, or you might think that you did it correctly, but didn't get the results you wanted. But find one where you only focused on performance and one where you led from presence instead. Okay, so you had some thoughts. You don't have to share them with me if you don't want to, but I just want you to get tracked into a way of thinking. See it from two different sides, two ways of doing it. I'm going to touch into it because I just need to do that, don't I? We live in an age of AI and automation. At my work, everything is focused on how we can make everything digital, everything that you can do. I do that in my job. I used to have loads and loads of paper drawings. I had to update all the time. as well as having a complete archive electronically. Because we've been in a shift for many, many years where we were really ready to be totally digital, but the authorities were still not there. So we've been double dating in a way. But AI is here. The automation is here. The machines are so much faster. There's a difference between you as a leader and AI. You can hold the vision when things get messy. They can't build trust when everything shakes. They can't inspire a team to rise. You are the only one that can give them the energy. They can't create from lived wisdom. The machines are dead. They haven't lived. They can only produce what they already have been fed with. And they can't bring courage, kindness, and presence into a room. A computer does not walk into the room and create that, even if it was a robot. That is the human advantage. That is your advantage. That's where leadership lives. Agree? I need to move my mouse a little bit. I thought I was going to put up a little, here we are, a little presentation here, but I think I'll just run through the presentations afterwards and like summarize it. What is your human advantage in your work? Specifically, what do you do better than machines? Where do you bring something in no machines can replace? Yeah? Yes? You can text them in comments if you like. You can bring a cup of coffee. You can ask how they are. Yes. I have experience. I have a hunch of things when it's wrong. Yes, that's true. Machines don't do that. They are just precise. A very masculine way of thinking the machines have. Where's the intuition? So how do we separate ourselves from AI? It's a big question. I don't know the answer. I just know that the future is not for the machines. Also, the machines will be there. They're excellent. They will help in science. They will help writing things, crunching data. They'll do so many things, so much better than us. But they're not human. And the future belongs to the humane. Because if we just run things in a masculine way, I'm not talking men and women, I'm talking about the masculine way of thinking, where everything is performance, everything is results, everything is money, everything is that we're destroying ourselves in the process. And AI won't care. It will just do exactly what we're telling it to do. I mean, if we want profit all the way, without considering environment, kindness, care, humanity, we have to be there. We need you. We need you as leaders. We really need you to step up. and take your place as a leader of people and machines. The thing is, most of us learn everything early on, and we learn how to perform, to be perfect, to be efficient, to be expert in our areas. But you know, those patterns can become huge cages. True leadership can break them. When you don't lead from fear of being replaced. Because I think many of you are really scared, or maybe you think that your employees will disappear. Well, some of you will. But make sure that only the ones that are necessary and help them find something else. I think in the Industrial Revolution, everything happened sort of over a period of years. So people slightly, even if they went into a depression, people lost their jobs or things changed a lot. We had still time to adjust. Now these days, AI comes like a tsunami coming in, and we will have quite certainly a time of total confusion. Because we humans, we need time to adjust. Because we have all those patterns that we need to change. And we need to change how we are wired in our brains to think different thoughts, to find different solutions to the future. And I am a thought leader. I lead people through thoughts, find out what kind of thoughts, and we dive down into a belief system, into how we feel. Because the thing is, you guys, it is not your thoughts or just acting without not thinking. It does not exist. Your emotions are controlled by your thoughts originally. And your thoughts or the information that came in could have come many, many years ago. It could have come when you were a little child, even maybe before you were born genetically. And everything is sort of harvested and stored within you. Some of it consciously, some of it unconsciously. Your whole behavior and how you walk, how you talk, how you do everything is a pattern. And that pattern is stored within here and within your, if I can say, the deeper or the higher parts of your brain. And then if you have your intuition, I think, where does the original thoughts come from? I'm not talking about only the things that you hear from others through your senses, but where does brilliant, intuitive thoughts come from? I know it's a combination, but I want you to ask yourself, where do they come from? I'm not talking about those traveling into your brain all the time through your senses. I'm talking about the brilliant ones. And how can we stop these trains which nowadays are filled with fear, filled with propaganda, polarization? Everything in the world is just going totally bananas. How can we stop that train of thoughts? Personally, I do certain things. I don't watch that much news. I am very selective of what I like and dislike officially, especially when it comes to algorithms. I don't want to support algorithms to show up everywhere. First of all, not for myself, and I don't want to encourage it to be shown to other people. My husband said to me, you can't go through life and not take any sides. You have to take a side. Of course, I have a standpoint. I live in a social democracy. I believe every human is equal and should be treated equally. Men, women. I'm not saying that men and women are the same. I'm saying that same pay for same job, same performance. I know all these things. I don't need to tell everybody by encouraging algorithms. And you know how our brains are? How we are wired? If you have two links on Facebook or on LinkedIn or in the newspaper, if one that really encourages people, it's a very positive thing. Maybe it's about art, it's about reading, it's about people helping each other. Well, apart from small kittens and dogs, we love that. But if there's another link behind it, talking about what's going on in the world that are not good, something in Norway these days, it's about royalists misusing something or their my good inheritance or whatever. It's all these things. What do you think people more likely click on? The thing is, what you focus on, you get more of. So if you're scared of the future, if you're scared of stepping up being the true leader you can be, you will get more of that fear. It will multiply. We need to break it down. So what happened at my job? Yes, of course, I broke myself down. I started working hard. Remember, I came in. I said to myself, I cannot be scared. I cannot carry fear in my heart. When I perform this, I will not function. I need to be really, really good at what I'm doing. I need to see people. So what I did is that even if I was working with documents and drawings and helping people in project teams building ships and all these things, I had one thing straight in front of my mind all the time. That was the people that I was working with. I said to myself, even if maybe they consider my job a side thing towards more important things in their job, I would make sure that I gave them my full attention. So whatever they wanted from me, whatever I wanted from them, I always asked them how they were. I was kind. So when they left me, they would always, always feel seen and heard. I got a team and all the other employees in our company to pull together with me. I still have this amazing connection with people. Because the thing is, when I started to do that, other people started to do that to me. They started to do that to everybody else in the team. And I'm not saying I was probably not the only one having these thoughts. There could be other people as well. We attracted each other. We came together. We built this powerful team of brains, thoughts, emotions, actions, and we delivered amazing results. We delivered on time, within budget. So here I want to ask you another question again. Ask yourself, where do I still perform out of fear? What would leadership from presence look instead? I told you, get good at what you're doing. I'm quite sure I am not here to tell you how to do your job, because I'm quite sure you as a leader, or even you as an employee, if you're here, you know how to do your job. You probably have education, you've done loads of different things. Your top is really heavy. I don't need to tell you how to do the job. I don't need to go into the boardrooms and check out how everything is. The only thing I need to do is talk with the people working there, look at the results. And I know something is going on that might not function if the results are not good. I don't have to think about the results as money, but I know there is something going on. But I rest assured that you will fix that yourself. When you start performing without fear, when you start being present, when you speak to people, when you consider people before everything else, even when you have to lay people off, make sure you sit there with them and you keep eye contact. Be present always. Okay, let's make it more practical. I want you to take a piece of paper. Hang on. That's fun. I'm going to do that. Hang on, hang on. Where did my pencil go? Isn't that funny? I always keep loads and loads of pencils here, and when I need them, they're suddenly gone. That's amazing. Okay. Anyway, I will help you. I want you to take a piece of paper and write down 3 prompts. One here. Where do I lead only from performance? 2. Where do I already lead from presence? 3. What's one small shift I could make this week toward more presence? Maybe I can write it here. Let's see, I've written it down somewhere. I'll put it in comments. Here we are. I'll share with everyone. There you are. There you are. Okay, so it says, where do I lead only from performance? 2, where do I already lead from presence? What's one small shift I could make this week toward more presence? Okay. I'll give you a few minutes to write quietly. If you want, you can commit to yourself and share one small shift in the chat, or with somebody else. I think there's two of you here that know each other. You can share it between you, or you can share openly in the chat. Where do I lead only from performance? Where do I already lead from presence? Where are you present? Where do you see people? What's one small shift I could make this week toward more presence? I'm happy to see that you're sharing. Great. There's some good ones here. Okay, let's return here a bit. Remember, what you see isn't always the whole truth. And leadership isn't only what can be measured. It goes beyond numbers. It goes beyond computers. It goes beyond results. It goes beyond money. Courage beyond performance. Vulnerability is needed to show courage. Presence that leaves an imprint no one forgets. What do you think people remember longest? A good result? $1 million for your company? Or a kind, loving leader that saw people? What if you can combine these two? Do you think that will have an impact on your results? On the bottom line? With or without AI? You have such potential. The possibilities are immense. And with the help of artificial intelligence, the limits lies only in your own mind. There are no limits, really. The future doesn't belong to the most efficient, it belongs to the most humane. Okay, let's share now very quickly the agenda that we went through. Okay. We talked about purpose-driven leadership. You can hardly see the screen there because I have the camera straight in front of me. It's not only about results. It's about creating a future where people feel they belong. No one can disagree on that. Let's see. And I want you to think about what defines a true leader. In my world, it's awareness, it's integrity, and it's presence. Do you have any more of those? I think that covers the thing. Yes, we could bring courage, vulnerability, and all these things, but I think that goes into that because if you're aware, you will be vulnerable and you will be courageous. Integrity takes a lot of courage. It is a hefty place to be to keep your integrity. I don't know anybody who hasn't lost some of their integrity sometime. But some are really good at keeping their integrity than others. And for sure, some people have more presence than others. There was a Norwegian politician that had been working as a politician in foreign affairs. And after many years, he was asked by a journalist, "You have spoken to so many leaders of the world. Who of them made the biggest impression?" Well, he listed up, he could say Nelson Mandela, he could say all different kinds of European leaders and everything. And he even spoken to several of the US presidents. We're going back to, I think, the beginning of 2000, maybe the 90s here. I don't remember actually the years. But he said there was one person that he will never forget. And it was also the shortest moment he had ever had with a person. Most of the politicians and the leaders of the world he had had really long conversations with. But there's one person that was a president, and that was President Clinton. He said, we had maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds. And I came up to him, presented myself, and he said, hello. And this man, he took my hand, held it. And in some funny way, in those 20 seconds, he totally saw me. He gave me all his awareness. I have never ever in my life felt so seen. Not before and not after. That's when we talk presence. That's real presence. Okay. The hidden reality for many leaders are you're exhausted, too much work. Of course it is. I'm reminding you again, why don't take advantage of AI? Don't get your employees and your colleagues to use it as a tool. The thing is, you keep on carrying too much responsibility. You think everything is on your shoulders. No, you're a part of a team. There must be one top leader, always only one top leader, but you are depending on the people working for you. A really, really good leader, my dad said. He used to be a captain on a cruise ship in the old days when the captains were God themselves nearly. He said a really good leader, he doesn't really have to do much. The most important thing for him or her is to have a flow of communication and to have the overview of, the direction, the vision of where they want to go, to make sure that he lifts or she lifts everybody up to see that vision and where they're going to go. That is the main reason, to connect people, to help people. As a top leader, your job is not to sit. I know if you run a small company, you have to do all the budgeting, all the money stuff and everything. But if you're a top leader, and I'm talking to say executives, if you're an executive leader, it's not your business to look into the numbers. You have people doing that. You probably have a managing director in economics. You have specialized people. I think today the markets are overflowing with economic people that works with numbers. I'm talking to you as a top leader. You don't have to use time. You should just get the numbers and help it and talk about the visions. Let them talk about how you save money and fill in all the holes in the bucket or whatever they do. You focus on where you're going and you focus on being present, keeping your integrity, getting really good at being a leader. And I know most of you still think that control is safety. You are scared to leave things to other people. You have to have control. You think that as a leader, you must know everything. That is so wrong. You don't have to know everything. You hire people to know things, and you make them tell you what's going on when they need to. Henry Ford, many years ago, you know Henry Ford, the guy that had Ford engines? He was working on an engine. And he wanted to make a different kinds of engine. I don't know what kind of engine it was, but all the engineers said it was impossible. He said, I don't care if it's impossible, find a way. And somebody was really trying to get him down, and they took him to court because they actually thought that he was dumb. And he was taking care of his own defense. So he said, after a lot of questions, really funny questions where he kept on asking answering them, and in the end he got really tired of the court asking stupid questions, and he said, I'm not going to answer any of your questions anymore. Many of these things that you ask me, I don't need to know them. I have people around me that can do that for me. If I want to, I don't have to know everything about everything. What I need to know is how to lead, how to get people to work for me, to deliver the material and the information. So I hire people. So if you have a question, I can always ask somebody in my organization or my network that can help me. I don't need to know everything. You don't have to control everything to be safe. I'm having two glasses here. And I also know one thing. Many of you are very successful financially. Why do you come to me? You don't feel fulfilled. You walk around as an empty shell. You just do what the society and maybe what your education has told you to do. And you think that's you. Once upon a time, you believed that was everything you needed to do. Once I get to that stage, I will feel fulfilled. Once it's always into the future. But remember what about when I spoke about presence? If you want to lead people into becoming and doing and performing way above where they do today, you have to come to a state of mind where you are feeling fulfilled. Not in the future, not in the past, but now, in the present. That is part of being present. Presence. You guys, this shift is so much needed. So you need to go from performance to presence, from control to clarity, from strength as a mask to alignment. What happened? What does it mean to be aligned? Oh, if you want to know about that, you are welcome to join me anytime and I'll speak about it. You can have conversation with me one-on-one. I also have a huge, wonderful program where you will be really pulled down into your subconscious mind to find out how you can change your behavioral patterns. So to lead with integrity and vulnerability and alignment and courage, yeah, it's possible. The impact of conscious leadership. You know, if you say human nature, they have certain urges and needs, basic needs. One thing is to stay alive, hunger, sex, and the last one is that we really want to belong to someone or something or in a society. So if you become a really conscious leader, or maybe you already are, but you want to perfect that, you will create belonging within your team. They will do everything for you. Once you do that, it will shape futures that is filled with purpose. You know where you're going. It's another thing which is also important when you help your employees or inspire your employees and colleagues. You should always try to find out what kind of goals they have in their private life. When you hire somebody, you should make them dig into what they aim for privately as well as professionally. You need to be surrounded by people that not only have the same professional goal that you have given them by hiring them in your company, but also you need to make sure that they have private goals that are not in conflict with the main company goal. Because if they have things that are in conflict, they will be an anchor to your company. So if you become a conscious leader and you live like that, you will leave a legacy beyond profit. Okay. Thank you for staying with me here today. I'm going to leave you with some closing reflections. I want you to go home. You're probably home already, or maybe you are a leader who are sitting at work. I don't know. I want you to really ask yourselves, what kind of future am I shaping through the way I lead today? What kind of future am I shaping through the way I lead today? I will be back next Saturday with a new live. If you would like me to speak about something else, and if you'd like to join me, I would be very, very happy if you came. And I'd love to get some feedback on this. I think today I was really good at stopping and letting you speak without recording. So I think with a little work, I can easily place this out on LinkedIn, I think, if it works that way, or I can put it in a Facebook group. But also, if you'd like to have the recording, just send me a message. You have my address or your email address now, so just send me a message and I'll send out the link so you can see the replay. I'll try and smoothen it out and take away a couple of things so you don't have to see yourself or anything. But I think I managed to stop. Okay, that was all for now. I am Merete Stangeland. This is Clear Horizon, and I use the Clear Horizon method. This is a small taste of the things and the discussions that we are going to go through if you ever chose to study with me. Have a nice day.